Welcome, everyone. I am Teresa Sullivan, the director of the Seneca County Museum. On behalf of the Barnes-Deinzer Seneca County Museum Foundation, and I would like to welcome everyone, and especially those of you who have traveled this morning to be with us. Thank you. This is truly an exciting day for Seneca County as we begin to celebrate and reflect on 200 years of our history. As we go through 2024, there will be opportunities to experience the uniqueness of 15 townships that comprise the wonderful county and to learn about influential people and noteworthy events. With the ardent support of the Seneca County Commissioners, the Bicentennial Committee has been working diligently the past year to research, plan, and create a variety of programs and experiences. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize the Bicentennial Committee. Please stand as I call your name. Rodney Young, Roy Zinn, Fran Fleet, who's already standing. Bruce Bullis unfortunately could not be here today. And then Bryce Riggs and Marissa Stevens, who we cannot say enough good things about. They are absolutely fabulous. Let's face it, most of the Bicentennial Committee is technology. Right, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Yes, you may sit, sorry. Most of the Bicentennial Committee was just a little technology challenged. So we greatly appreciate the expertise that Bryce and Marissa have brought. All of the QR codes, which most of us older people did not even know how to function, would not have, and the programming and the print material are a result of Bryce and Marissa's dedication. Finally, we would also like to extend our heartfelt thanks to our county commissioners for not only their financial support, but their continued encouragement. And right now, I would like to introduce Bryce Riggs, the Executive Director of the Seneca Regional Chamber of Commerce and Destination Seneca County.
Thank you. What a great turnout it is this morning. I think it's really important. Obviously, we celebrate our community's history. I think I've been fortunate to be part of both Tiffin's Bicentennial and Seneca County's Bicentennial. I think really the biggest thing we find with the Bicentennial is it's really important to reflect on history, where we've come, where we're going. But I think really the most important thing, being on the committee and being part of this community, is to celebrate our community, all the folks that come together to really rally around the community and, again, where we're going. The businesses, government agencies and organizations, the community members, everyone really has their place in where we're going with our community. We've come a long way, and we're really looking forward to the many years ahead. Again, I just want to thank the Bicentennial Committee for all their support that they've lent to our efforts, and as well as the county commissioners who financially funded a lot of our initiatives and had a seat at the table to ensure that we are doing what's best for our county and our community moving forward. With that, I'm going to start with introduce Seth Innes, who will be singing the national anthem this morning. And the flag is right behind John Monk in the back. Sorry, John. We're putting the camera on you.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, was brought stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that a flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Seth. Wonderful job. We are going to have some substitutions on today's agenda, so bear with us. We have Sue Smith, who will talk about Seneca County in 1824. So welcome to the podium, Sue.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Obviously, I'm not Dr. Bruce Bolus. On January 22nd, 1824, the Ohio General Assembly enacted a legislation that created Seneca County, which took effect on April 1st of that year, exactly 200 years ago today. Elections for township officers were held the following Monday. At the time, only 4 townships, Thompson, Seneca, Eden, and Clinton, existed, Eden being the most populated. A county sheriff and a county coroner were also elected on that Monday. The first court case in the county took place on April 12th. So, what if we had a time machine that could transport us back 200 years? If we were standing where we are right now, what would we have seen on April 1st, 1824? Honestly, we would have found ourselves at the edge of a dense virgin forest comprised of oak, hickory, poplar, and black walnut trees, with a forest canopy towering 60 or more feet above us. Being near the eastern edge of the Black Swamp, the ground under our feet would be spongy and damp, and the air thick with humidity, an ideal breeding ground for mosquitoes. And as a result, in 1824, malaria was a major concern for our residents. As we look eastward through the trees, we can make out a primitive road bordering on the river, roughly following the Frost Parkway today. Originally, it was part of the Scioto-Sandusky Trail, created by the Shawnee Indians, that connected their hunting grounds in Kentucky with Lake Erie. During the War of 1812, General William Henry Harrison had the trail cleared and widened to accommodate his army and their roughly 100 ox-drawn wagons as they moved north to confront the British and their Indian allies in 1813. The road came to be known by various names, including Harrison's Trail and the Old Army Road. At the time, most of northwestern Ohio, including today as our Seneca County, was reserved for the various indigenous tribes residing there by the terms of the 1795 Treaty of Greenville. While most Indians living here, such as Wyandots, Senecas, and Delawares, had pledged their loyalty to the United States, Harrison nonetheless ordered several forts to be constructed periodically along the road between Upper Sandusky and Lower Sandusky, which is now Fremont. They served as supply depots as well as fallback positions should the campaign against the British fail. If we stepped out of the forest onto the road and looked to our left in 1824, we would have seen the remnants of one of these military installations, our Fort Ball. Fort Ball was constructed in the summer of 1813, initially by a cavalry unit under the command of Colonel James Ball, for whom the fort was named, and later completed by an infantry unit when Colonel Ball's force was moved north to Fort Seneca, which is Old Fort today. Fort Seneca was likewise a supply depot, but it also served as General Harrison's command post during the subsequent Battle of Fort Stephenson at today's Fremont in early August, and it remained so until his army moved into Canada following Alvehazard Perry's victory on Lake Erie in September. Neither fort came under attack during the war. Once the fighting ended, both forts were simply abandoned, but their usefulness did not come to an end there. Fort Ball, and we can assume Fort Seneca also, provided temporary shelter for both early travelers on the old Army Road and the first settlers in the region. We know that President James Monroe traveled from Lower Sandusky to Delaware, Ohio in late August of 1817 and passed by and possibly spent the night at the abandoned fort. Erastus Bowe, the county's first official non-native resident, arrived only months later. He planned to stay and had arranged to have a temporary structure built for him within the confines of the fort. A short time later, he constructed a separate building that served as a tavern called the Panyan, a stagecoach stop, and eventually a post office. Others lived in the fort's blockhouses. One of them, David Risdon, resurveyed the old Army Road in 1821 and had the settlements of Risdon and Rome that eventually joined together to form the city of Fostoria. Local historian Consul Butterfield wrote that the remains of the Fort Ball were still visible at the time he published his History of Seneca County in 1848. Erastus Bowe's arrival in November of 1817 came only weeks after a treaty with regional tribes granted their Indian lands, originally guaranteed to the tribes by the Treaty of Greenville, to the United States government for sale to white settlers. In return, the various tribes were given reservations along the Sandusky River. The Senecas received 40,000 acres in part of what became Pleasant, Adams, Scipio, and Clinton townships. In 1824, that reservation was home to roughly 500 members of the Seneca tribe. Most of them were removed to the Trans-Mississippi West beginning in 1831, opening county land to further white settlement. The few settlers around the Panyan Tavern lived in the village of Oakley, which was platted in 1819 on land granted by a treaty to Robert Armstrong. His nephew, Jesse Spencer, resurveyed Oakley in 1823, which then became known as Fort Ball. Meanwhile, in 1821, Josiah Hedges acquired the land across the river from Oakley. By the following year, 6 families had constructed homes there. He named the village Tiffin, after his friend and the first governor of Ohio, Edward Tiffin. But as one historian characterized it, the early years were not promising. The main road between Lower Sandusky, now Fremont, and Columbus was across the river in Oakley, and no bridge existed. Only a dugout, which served as a ferry boat, connected the two villages. It cost each passenger 2 cents for a trip across the river. The post office being in Fort Ball was likewise inconvenient. Moreover, the presence of the post office there led most people to believe that Oakley and Fort Ball would naturally become the county seat. That's why it was so surprising when Tiffin, not Fort Ball, was named the county seat in 1824. Hedges clearly had influence in the state capital. Josiah Hedges had the first bridge connecting the two villages built in 1833, but Tiffin and Fort Ball were not combined under one government until about 1850. The area east of the river, especially near Honey Creek and Rock Creek, proved more suitable for development than the lands to the west, which were more heavily forested. In fact, the county's first grist mill began operation near present-day Melmore in 1821. Still, in 1824, the process of clearing the land for farming and settlement throughout the new county was only beginning. If a local newspaper had existed at the time, the big news story of 1824 would probably have been the Brush Dam case. In 1823, Jesse Spencer had dammed up a part of the Sandusky River to divert water for his sawmill. Josiah Hedges was displeased with Spencer's effort and took it upon himself to dismantle and remove the dam to his side of the river for his own use. In September 22nd of 1824, Spencer naturally filed suit against Hedges for damages. In the first jury trial in Seneca County, the court awarded damages to Spencer for his losses in April of 1825. The whole thing must have been quite an ordeal for Spencer, because he sold his holdings in Fort Ball to Hedges a short time later and left the county. So, 1824 marked only the starting point for Seneca County. Keep in mind that just 7 years earlier, it was technically Indian territory. And even in 1824, most of the land inland from the Sandusky River and its larger tributaries had remained pretty much and unchanged since the end of the last glacial period. This would be dramatically altered over the course of the 19th century, as agriculture and industrial revolutions transformed the county, helping to make Ohio an important component in the rise of the United States as an economic world power by 1900. And, as they say, the rest is history. It is fitting that our next performance will be a German hymn, as many of Seneca County's earliest settlers were of German ancestry. Mr. Innes.
As I noted before, we have a few adjustments to the program, so we're going to actually move through the program a little bit. We joked that we went from Barbara Orange to David Wirt to now the man himself. Congressman Bob Latta is going to say a few words and remarks, so we welcome Congressman Latta.
Hey, thanks very much. You might want the staff anyway. But thanks for allowing me to be with you today. And, 200 years is quite a remarkable thing. And thanks to the commissioners for what you've done to help with this event, because it's important to think about your past and think about your future. And, I was a county commissioner in Wood County for 6 years, got elected in 1990, and, we celebrated our 100th anniversary of our courthouse at that time, but also Wood County was in 1820. But when you think about this region, what we came into and our ancestors, a lot of people have thought that it would almost been impossible to settle. Because if you heard some of the history about our area, about not only the dense woods, but also, the Great Black Swamp. And you're kind of on the edge over on this side because Wood County was right smack in the middle of it. And so I know working as a commissioner, and I know we did some joint ditch hearings a long time ago, but Wood County has over 3,000 miles of ditch. And if it wasn't for that ditch and that we have in our county and what you all have, you couldn't settle it over here. And so, I always marvel at our ancestors that came here. And, they looked at something and said, you know what, we can make this work. They came here because they wanted to, our ancestors were, so many were farmers that wanted to farm. They wanted to own their own land. And my mom's family, they had settled over in Putnam County in the 1840s on both sides, the German and the French. But, they cleared the land and they made it productive what we have today. And when you think about, like my district, which stretches from Indiana to the suburbs of Cleveland now, that I have the largest farm income producing district in the state of Ohio. And it's because of our ancestors that gave us that opportunity. And then, when you look back here, and I was just over last week touring, you look at the manufacturing that we have in our area. And I have 86,000 manufacturing jobs. And thankfully for what you all do here in Seneca County and what you all make. Because it's provided jobs for so many people for, you think about this now, for over 200 years. So when you celebrate your history and you think back to those that came here, it's so important that then we start thinking about, okay, how are we going to leave this county for the next 200 years? And so it's a tribute to you all for what you've been able to do. And if I may, I'd like to present. Let's see, to who would like to receive the proclamations and. Would you like to come forward? But I have a congressional record statement recognizing Seneca County on this great achievement on your bicentennial. But congratulations, and I hope to be able to come over for a lot of your events that you're going to have this year. But congrats.
Thank you so
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Ready? Teresa, I'll let her run. Okay, it's okay. Or you want to?
I've got all these people.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, there you go.
Teresa, I'll probably just have you stay up here for your photo ops.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, next up we have Crystal Lutman, Northwest Regional Liaison for the Office of Governor Mike DeWine, for proclamation as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for the invitation. The governor's sorry he can't be here today, but he has asked that I say a few words. And again, don't go too far. You're going to have a lot of these. So next week is the big eclipse, and I think I cover 17 counties, and you guys have the coolest event here. And I wish I could participate. Elope at the Eclipse, that's the correct name?
150 couples right now.
Yep. How many?
150.
Wow. For new weddings or combined?
It's like 105 and 45. So 105 new weddings, 45.
Wow. That's crazy. That's wonderful. So you guys won in my region for the coolest event. So I have a resolution here that I'd like to read. It's not very long. Whereas initially organized in 1820, Seneca County was recognized by the Ohio legislature in 1824. And whereas Seneca County was named for its first inhabitants, the Seneca Indian tribe of the westernmost nation of the Iroquois Confederacy. And whereas originally known for agricultural production, Seneca County experienced a mid-1800s real estate boom after the completion of the Mad River and Lake Erie Railroad in Tiffin. And whereas in their 200-year history, Seneca County has demonstrated great resilience by overcoming natural disasters, including the flood of 1913, cholera epidemics, and devastating fires, and whereas now home to more than 54,000 Ohioans, Seneca County has repeatedly ranked in the top 10% of similarly sized communities nationwide for economic development. And whereas the county seat Tiffin, named in honor of Edward Tiffin, the first governor of Ohio, and a great champion of the state, is home to Heidelberg University and Tiffin University. And whereas Seneca County's bicentennial theme of Standing the Test of Time celebrates the enduring spirits of its residents. And now therefore we, Mike DeWine and John Husted, Governor and Lieutenant Governor of the state of Ohio, do hereby recognize the bicentennial of Seneca County on this first day of April 2024. Mike DeWine, Governor, and John Husted, Lieutenant Governor.
We also have Lou Ann Cook with the Lieutenant Governor's office as well in the crowd. So thanks for coming, Lou. And the proclamation was on behalf of both offices. But I want to thank you for being here today. Next up is Pat McCauley on behalf of the Office of State Treasurer, Robert Sprague.
I'd like to say thank you on behalf of Treasurer Sprague for inviting us to be here and take part of this celebration of Seneca County. I do have a proclamation from Treasurer Sprague. Just want to read a few lines of it for you just to help honor the ceremony. Seneca County's Bicentennial provides an opportunity to celebrate the rich history of the community and how the county has stood the test of time. This is a momentous occasion for all involved, and this historic anniversary serves as a time to celebrate the many ways Seneca County has flourished to become a wonderful place to live, work, and raise a family. On behalf of Treasurer Sprague, hope it's a great year of celebration for Seneca County. Thank you.
Sad that we're here, right? He's trying not to be in your picture. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You didn't warn Trace about the photo opportunity she'd have today. Maybe she'll be running for county commissioner next round. Or maybe not. Next up, we have Timothy Snyder on behalf of Office of U.S. Senator J.D. Vance.
Good morning. So again, my name's Tim Schneider. I'm the Northwest Ohio Director for U.S. Senator J.D. Vance. So it's a sincere pleasure to be here with you all this morning and to be here on Senator Vance's behalf to take this opportunity to just say a few words in recognition of Seneca County's bicentennial kickoff. So this occasion, it's a reflection point for Seneca County's rich history and heritage. It's a commemoration of the resilience and spirit of its residents. We all look forward to the festivities and the opportunities to celebrate everything we have come to love about this incredible community. Senator Vance extends his appreciation to the Seneca County Bicentennial Committee for its hard work, planning, and commitment. I bring with me a proclamation signed by U.S. Senator J.D. Vance in recognition of this important occasion. Best wishes to all on a great bicentennial. Thank you.
So Senator Bill Reineke is unable to be here today on behalf of his office. He's to send an accommodation that we'll give to Teresa. So Bryce Riggs will give this to Teresa through the program. So you go. No photo op needed there. So that's good. Next up, we have Representative Gary Click on behalf of the Ohio House District 88.
Thank you. Wow, what an exciting event. Celebrating 200 years. You know, Seneca County was founded by some hardy folks, isn't that right? And imagine the things they had to endure coming here and clearing the land and draining the swamp and all that stuff that they had to do just for us to be able to settle here. And I thought I had it tough this morning when I woke up to a leaky skylight, you know. But those hardy folks paved the way for what happens today. And I don't think the folks here in this room are any less hardy. You know, folks in here are fighting for the community. They stand up for the community. And we've received so many accolades and awards from the leadership from our various mayors, our commissioners, you know, making Tiffin, you know, one of America's greatest hometowns. And so we're excited for that. And I think the hardy beginning leads us to a very bright future. But that's all in our hands and what we do today. And we couldn't be here without those who've gone before us. But we always must remember that we are also paving the road for those who follow behind us. And that's a great weight on our shoulders. So I congratulate all of you for what you do here and now and today. And I do have this commendation for our 200th anniversary of Seneca County. God bless you all.
Before I welcome Tyler to the stage, I should say I want to thank Tony, Commissioner Paradiso, for being here today. He's fresh off a knee surgery, so the fact that he circled this day and said, I'm going to be there, it makes to D for getting him here, because honestly, it wouldn't be the same without you here. So thank you for being here. On behalf of the Seneca County Commissioners, please welcome Seneca County Commissioner Tyler Schaaf.
Good morning and welcome. Today we look back. Today we celebrate. Today we come together to recognize Seneca County's bicentennial as we gathered as our beloved community reaches its 200th year in existence. As we cherish our past, we also look forward to our future. This community has had a rich history, but has not been without its challenges. What makes Seneca County special? It's our people. In trying times, we come together to lift our community up and to try to help one another. This is a place where we value our family, our safety, and our country. We try to do the right thing. As we celebrate this year for our bicentennial, be proud. Be proud of where we come from. Be proud of this community as we move forward in the future together. On behalf of the Seneca County Commissioners, Commissioner Paradiso, Commissioner Frankert, and myself, may our future be as bright as our past.
Next up, we have Mayor Lee Wilkinson on behalf of the City of Tiffin. Mayor Wilkinson.
Thank you. It is an honor to be here today. And in Tiffin and Seneca County, we are proud of our history and proud of our heritage. In 2022, we celebrated the Tiffin Bicentennial, and now in 2024, we have the Seneca County Bicentennial. And as we move into the future and continue to make things better for all of us and our residents, and we continue to collaborate and work together, I know we can make that happen. So I'm proud to be part of that, and we'll have a great year of celebration and years to come after that. Thank you.
And then our last elected official or representative this morning is going to be Eric Keckler, Safety Service Director, former mayor for the City of Fostoria, speaking on behalf of Mayor Dominell.
Thanks, Bryce. I know it says on your program that it is Jocelyn Reinhardt Scaife who's supposed to be speaking to us. If you, Jocelyn, if you had some things you wanted to say, you're certainly welcome to come up with me. I think you can handle it. Oh, thank you. Well, I'm happy to be here today to represent the City of Fostoria and Mayor Dominell in kicking off this celebration of 200 years of Seneca County. As someone born and raised in Seneca County, and always look forward to the kickoff of the Seneca County Fair to see everybody again talking good things about Seneca County. We're just excited for our past, but as Representative Click said, excited about our future. I don't believe that there's been any time in the history of Seneca County that the communities have been connected as well as they have through communication with our representatives, our federal and state, and the county commissioners. So I look forward to what is to come. I know it's been great to have what Bryce and Marissa have been doing to connect the county as one with Destination Seneca County. I think that bodes well for the next 200 years, and I'm happy to be here for the kickoff celebration today. I too have a proclamation which I will not read, but just happy to be here to help kick off this celebration, so thank you.
And I want to say, I know we have two other, I believe, elected officials here in the room today. Julie Atkins, County Auditor, as well as Judge Damon Alt as well. And I will also note, we do have a legislative breakfast coming up at the Chamber at the end of the month. Do not expect 8 politicians to speak less than 36 minutes at our event. Hopefully I didn't set the standard. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Teresa.
In closing, I just want to share a little information about some of the activities and events. First of all, you all have a program card, and if you flip it over, again, this is to the great work of Bryce and Marissa. So there's QR codes. That is live today, so you can scan your QR code, and that will take you to all of the events that are on the slate so far. There will be more that continue to be put on that, but this will take you to the driving tour, which is going to be up this week. So we have, and there's, I think we have the maps over there. If you take maps on your way